Now let's continue with our plant effect. I will bring in the background image and place it right above my composition. Let's scale it out and look for leaves that are pretty easy to identify. This one right here is a pretty good example. I will use the pen tool to mask this out, so zoom in and start surrounding the edges of this leaf. You can also find PNG leaves online, but because this is similar to our background, we don't have to do that much color grading. But if you grab something from the internet, you would have to spend time editing the colors and the other options. So you can go for any option that you prefer. Click and drag to make a curve and use the space bar to move the canvas around. You can also grab the handles to work with the curves and just go all around your leaf. Once we have our leaf, we can just rename this into something suitable and use the anchor point to bring it at the start of the leaf. Then grab this guy and put it in another letter. Let's try a letter A. I'll have to scale it down a bit and place it somewhere over here. Now the reason why I won't place it somewhere like this is because it will give it a flat look, and that's not the point here. So go for somewhere that you can mask out a side like we did here. We let the video go inside the T, but over here it comes outside. This will make it more dynamic and we can avoid making the composition look flat. So put the leaf right here, hit T, lower that opacity. Let's pre-compose this photo. Now we can mask this out again using the pen tool. And of course, leaving one side open for the 3D effect. Then we can just close our mask, then hit M on our composition to invert it. Now we have this plant coming out from our letter A. Use the scale if needed. I'm going to reposition it, then you can select each of these points and edit if needed. Because this is a photo, you don't have to make that big of a mask, and we're just going to add an animation to this ourselves. Now double click on your leaf composition, hit R on your keyboard, and make really slow movements for this leaf. So maybe bring it to the left side, and then bring it back to the right side. I believe our composition is 5 seconds long. So first let's move in, grab all of these keyframes, hold down Alt or Option to kind of squeeze them in to the 5-second mark. So now we have these really slow movements for our leaf. Be sure to easy ease all keyframes by hitting F9 on your keyboard. When we go back, our leaf is just moving really slowly. Let's go back in here, hit T and increase the opacity. And there's our leaf. You can create as many of these as you want and just keep editing these until you get a good result. Now, one final touch is to add shadow on these leaves that are coming out from the letters. So go to the effects and presets and look for drop shadow. Drag this above both of your rotor brush or on one of them so we can copy these settings later. Increase the distance. So my light source will be somewhere around here. Therefore, my shadow needs to be on the opposite side. Increase the softness and the opacity. So now if we zoom in, we get this really slight shadow, and that gives us a pretty cool 3D effect. This is without the shadow, this is with the shadow. Once we have this, we can just copy this by holding down Command C or Control C, selecting the other composition, and then Command V. This time it needs to be on the other side, so just work with it. And of course, we need to do the same thing for the images that we masked. So this way, our composition will look more 3D and we will have a better result. And now we're finished with the effect. As you saw, it was pretty easy because we used the rotor brush and some masking. You can just go ahead and add any other elements, maybe some flowers, some butterflies, and just be creative with the way your composition looks. I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. I will see you in the next one.